Contrary to popular belief, this is not just rap music. This is life. So I offer you right now, life. Life. For every little black child, this is life. Life. For every single parent, this is life. Life. For every brother behind bars, this is life. Hold your head.
What's happening? Episode 40, UnMask'D. So glad to still be here.
Yep.
God is good. Y'all know who it is. Your boy Trez, a.k.a. the Barbarian. Still shout out to my boy P before we go any further.
Yep.
We always with you, my brother. Much love. We here. Blessings to you. Now going forward. What's up with the Spins?
What's up, King to a God?
Man, you know what it is, baby. You know what it is.
Absolutely. Hey, once again, back with us another week. Miss DC is with us. She is live and in effect.
So glad to have her back.
Right. How are you, Representative?
Fam, you stand up.
Oh, my God. I knew it was going through.
I ain't going to let you get that all the way out.
HU?
Shout out to HBCUs.
No, exactly.
Deion Sanders putting us on the map.
Yes, with the most attended HBCU game.
Over 50,000.
Wow.
Yes.
It was almost 60.
Shout out to Deion.
Shout
That's
out to
big.
my hometown because I'm originally from Jackson,
Hey,
Mississippi, and
shout
I
out
grew
to
up on the
Jackson.
JSU Tigers.
They recruited me.
All day.
I didn't want to go because all I seen was woods, and they still hang people in Mississippi, man. They had segregated bathrooms. I don't even stop. I still, to this day, don't stop for gas
At least
in
we'll
Mississippi.
tell you up
At
front, and it
all.
won't be like John Gruber in the email.
Right.
Oh. Shots
She ain't
fired.
lying.
Yeah,
She ain't lying. We ain't stopping for gas in Mississippi. Gas up in Louisiana, baby. Gassing up
There's
in
a few of us
Louisiana.
Y'all not right. Y'all
Hey,
not right. We
shout out,
good now.
You
shout out
know how
to
it go.
HBCUs though. Much respect. Howard,
Absolutely.
Fam,
So-
Perry,
Keep going.
Grambling, Southern,
TSU. I'm a Texas, man, so, you know, I got to.
TSU,
There you go.
Delaware State,
There you go.
Coppin State, Alabama A&M. Like there's so
We
many
keep on
of
going.
us.
Alcorn,
Let's go.
Spelman,
Let's go.
Morehouse,
Right.
Hampton. I even say y'all. Wow.
Let's go.
Yeah. There you
That's
go.
big.
Shout out HBCUs.
Yes.
I
Much
let y'all
love.
take that HBCU thing.
That
you
shit's
know.
huge,
Y'all can go
man.
on and on.
On and on.
All day.
We coming.
Much love to the HBCUs. So DC, I know, thank you again for joining us. I wanted to let you just reintroduce yourself one more time for the people that may not have, heard you the first time. So take it away.
What's up, everybody? People from here call me DC, but I'm also go by Channing Marie. I'm a chef.
Hey.
I do event planning. I do
Love it.
marketing. And yeah, I'm just out here trying to collaborate with Black think leaders. And so that's what I want to do. I just want to bring people together and just progress ourselves in that movement, whether it's in business, wealth, or health.
I love it.
I like the way you put that, think leaders. I don't think I've ever heard that term, so I fuck with it.
I'm glad to have you back with us, DC. Much respect to you.
100%. This one is special. Number one, it's our 40th episode. And
We getting grown in this bitch.
right, we're getting
40.
older.
Shout out to all our followers, supporters.
Absolutely.
Man, we appreciate you more than you know.
And so, one of the things is we talk about a lot of different things, right? We go through,
We try to.
Yeah, in our own right, just how we feel, opinions on everything. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned, is when we talk about something a little bit more endearing and something that's a little bit more darker, we have to shine light on it. But I don't want it to be a somber episode. Number one, because it's our 40th episode. And secondly, because we have a great guest with us. But I want to inform our audience.
We gotta
right?
mix it up, man.
We gotta bring some light to what's going on. And the topic that I wanted to talk about is something that you've seen constantly in the news lately, and not just recently this year. Think about last year, the thick of the pandemic. Think about the previous years. We've seen statistically this opioid epidemic gradually increase. And, we'll get into it a little bit more, but we've seen some of our dearest people pass, and we talking, and I'm talking about celebrities, right? People that we've known to love their art. They have gone on, to a better place, but at the cost of taking an opioid, right?
I mean,
so just your thoughts. I have my opinion, but just your thoughts. Think about like all that you see, that you've seen, right?
Dare.
We're playing truth or dare now.
Hey, you remember that?
Yeah, against drugs. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember what that shit stood for, right?
I need a
Goddamn,
T-shirt.
shit.
Sponsor me.
Dare.
Point. Yeah, that's a good point. What the fuck did it stand for? Dare. I didn't. Drugs against.
Drugs against.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever it was. But
Dare.
she's Googling right now.
Hey, we need it.
No, but opioid epidemic is very serious. It's something that's not only, and the other thing is, again, it's affecting some of the people that we have grown to know and love their art. But at the same token, it's affecting the youth, right?
Most definitely.
So on every single scale, from
it's affecting everybody.
It's the number one killer
Yeah.
for people under age 50.
Yeah.
that, I don't know if everybody heard that, but she said the number one killer for everybody under the age of 50.
Because there's so many different.
That's us.
So many different
I don't know
types.
if everybody, that's us.
So many different types.
Yeah.
It is.
It's coming
So
in
many
everything.
different. So many different variances of it that you could get.
You think about it, so and I don't mean to cut you off. I know you got a point you're gonna
go ahead and get
elaborate on, but when we talk about opioid, let's talk about what is an opioid, right? An opioid is heroin.
That's where I was going.
Heroin.
I mean, it's
Oxycodone.
Oxy.
hydrocodones, codeine,
Fentanyl.
yeah, fentanyl. You know what I'm saying? Shit, there's many more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But those are
Too
probably
many to name.
Those
Let's
are
say it
probably
like that.
the most popular ones that names that the hydros, the codeine.
And what I've noticed, and again, this is something that I've seen just through the research. I've noticed that obviously, like all of those different forms of opioids that we've named, there's different ways you can inject it. Right? You can inject it obviously in needle form. You can take
Snort
it.
So the thing is,
Yeah.
And you can also pill form, which is
but the thing is,
one that's
the thing that's killing most people, and not to cut you off, Spence, is the pill form. Because as you just, what I'm saying, was speaking on, when you take the pill form, and this is with, any type of drug that's in a pill form, there's so many different variations or so many different ways that you could take that pill. You could digest it.
Mm-hmm.
You could dissolve it into your drink.
Mm-hmm.
You chop it up. You can snort it. You can inhale it. You can burn that shit. Like there's so many ways, and each way that you decide to digest that pill is going to be even high. It's going to be a greater high. So it's going to intensify the high. The high may not last as long, but that's where the addiction starts.
Mm. That's a good point.
Because the high is greater, but it doesn't last as long. So now it calls for your body
to need it,
want it more.
Yeah, almost need it.
Yeah,
I mean, you might
it's not even a need yet. It doesn't become a need until you're able to feed the want.
I get that.
Once you're able to feed the want,
yeah,
I'm like, okay,
now
I want it again. I want it again, and you can satisfy that want.
Right.
Then it becomes a need.
Agreed.
Once it feels okay, you could satisfy my urge. Now I'm gonna make you want my fucking ass type shit. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Like it's a slow progress. Like it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. Now it turns into a demon. It's so great that I can't go without it type shit. You know what I'm saying? That it's causing havoc. Like goddamn, I'm risking it all for this motherfucker.
And if you think about it too, Trez, and this is good that you pointed out because the way you sound is like, hey,
it's the greatest. It's like the greatest. Like we're talking about opiates right now, but you know what I'm saying. Just the reality of what I'm saying. Once certain people find that certain drug or that certain fix,
that vice,
that vice, it takes a certain, you know what I'm saying, and whether it's a great or it's a normal person, shit, goddamn, Richard Pryor ran down the street butt ass naked, you know what I'm saying,
right.
And was proud about that shit.
He also did some other things,
but he did a lot of other things. But I'm just saying, he did. But I'm saying, you know what I'm saying,
it was drug induced,
right?
The decisions,
Rick James, you know what I'm saying, like
right.
you know what I'm saying. come to find out, unfortunately, Prince. And you know what I'm saying? Speaking on
that. And we'll get to that. I think another thing I've realized is you talk about the times that we are in, right?
Yeah.
Everything is trendy, right? And I feel like when you talk about being influenced by a stronger substance or anything,
right?
When you look at how social media and some of the things that we see on a day-to-day basis, influences come into play,
right?
You see how quickly people are brainwashed, for lack of a better term, into certain things. And when you and so now what happens is it affects us, our age group, and younger. She said 50 and down, right? So when you look at it, it's like
as far as taking,
that's the number one killer.
Any type of opioid.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I can see that.
You see what I'm saying?
Because it's dangerous.
It's very dangerous, and on top of that, it's like now the shit is trending. Now it's like, okay, yeah, I'm taking this, and here's the other piece to that. Now I'm taking the weed. To your point, DC, I'm taking regular blunt that we used to smoking or papers, and now it's induced with bullshit, with this shit, right. And so now the leisure activity now becomes something that is not the same.
I think
it's synthetically something that we're ingesting, and it's some bullshit. So it leads to deaths and injuries, whatever you want to say.
So to be on with you, Spins, you know what I'm saying? I think right now, where we're at today, where we're like 2021, we're in a different time. At the end of the day, all these drugs have been around. Yep, you know what I'm saying? First and foremost, for years, like we're not talking about what we're talking about right now is nothing new. No new drug that's came out and taken away like some K2 or some crazy bullshit, synthetic type shit. You know what I'm saying? But what it is how I see it personally is we're in a different time frame. Mm-hmm. And right now, I think, and this is my personal opinion, like I said, fuck what everybody else think, but this is my personal opinion.
Right.
How I see shit is like, we're in different time frames and people handle shit differently. So, and what I'm going with that is because growing up, you know what I'm saying? I played sports, did other shit. I'm not taking no pill.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm real big about,
right.
Y'all know
I
me.
agree. I'm the same way.
You know me.
You know
what I'm saying?
Totally agree.
Sick, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm not taking that. I'm gonna take the natural remedy. You know what I'm saying? It may take a little bit longer, but the recovery's probably better. And it's, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna have some whatever side effects, whatever type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever. The day and age that we're at right now is a little different. As far as what I mean is pressure applied to
a lot of people,
to everybody.
So to help to kind of give you a little color on that particular piece, and we thinking on the same page, because here's the thing, right? And DC, I want to get your piece on this too, but think about what's happened in the last 18 months.
Right.
The pandemic.
Right.
What has been the biggest driver of depression, jobs being lost?
Right.
So not only are you, if you have idle time, sitting there looking at social media, looking at trends,
right? But
at the same token, now I'm seeing, oh, this is cool, yada, yada, yada. I also don't have a job. I'm pressured beyond belief. I don't know where my next pay, my money is gonna come from. So now I got all this, and I'm in society, and then I'm adding on to the fact that, we're going through this pandemic, and so DC, if you could chime in on like your thoughts, right? What's kind of, and I guess the overall pieces what's driving this increase?
I mean, I think the driver is been the same. What is the purpose of an opiate? Why was this drug designed in the first place?
Right.
It's a pain reliever.
That's where I was going.
So what is people dealing with a lot right now?
Pain. Anguish.
Exactly.
That's exactly where I was
But
going.
the problem is this drug is a deadly dose is 2 milligrams.
You talking about
Fentanyl.
that's
So,
So,
one
you get what I'm
move to
saying?
the left or the
That-
right, you out of there.
Right. And so if you don't know how to cut that right and you putting that in 2 milligrams is like 2 grains of salt, by the
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
to just give
Very
people
small.
like
Yeah, you talking about
a visual. So with opioids and all that, you know what I'm saying? And we all know that the cartel is using fentanyl to cut.
everything is
food.
cut. It's not even. It ain't.
And
even
so
just
people
coke.
are trying, and the number one driver of anything is greed. So
'Cause we
when
still
you
need the
greed,
money.
right, you gonna fill it with whatever, so that instead of baking soda, it's fentanyl.
Yeah,
That's some bullshit.
that's facts. Right
So
there.
you think of
that's way to say that shit.
the piece that
It's facts.
the piece that you put out there is very important. And you took the words right out of my mouth, Trez. You talk about something that's synthetically made, which it all is, but you look at something like fentanyl. Let's keep it real, right? And we talked about this right before we came on air, DC. Have you ever seen some shit that's, depending on how much, 50 to 100% stronger than the actual morphine?
It's 100%.
So 100%
Right.
strong.
It's 100
When
times.
have you ever seen something
I looked that up, people.
that is
Google it.
100% more potent than the strongest pain medicine that you could possibly have?
So
And it's
first,
also 50 times stronger than heroin.
right. So first and foremost, there's a couple of there's a couple of
Can we take a moment and just
there's a couple of pools. There's a couple of
That's
pools to
strong
pull from
as
this
shit.
motherfucker. It's very strong. So first and foremost, with the fentanyl, fentanyl, you know what I'm saying, however you pronounce it.
right?
You know
No,
what I'm
we
saying?
good.
Some people that are taking that shit are not aware that they're taking the shit.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because what it is, as DC said, it's a baking soda replacement
Mm.
in a lot of drugs. But the thing is it gets you high. Baking soda don't get you fucking high.
Mm-mm. No, this shit.
So if they overdo the fentanyl and your body, plus the other ingredients and shit that's mixed in, and your body ain't ready for that shit, you know what I'm saying? It's sayonara, or it becomes it becomes a deep craving. You know what I'm saying?
I think for me, when you look at, so let's just, if we could kind of go through, you look at Prince, right? Arguably one of the greatest artists to grace the planet Earth.
Right. That's what I was saying, family.
You talk about somebody like that. Then fast forward, right? Because Prince died a while back. And now we've had
Mac
one.
Miller.
Mac Miller,
Miller.
my boy.
Yes.
But DMX,
right.
And that's pre-pandemic.
but all these people, like, as far
Post-pandemic, we got Michael K.
right,
We got the
everybody
DMX.
everybody that we're naming are going to name. Let me say this: outside of possibly Prince, and I could be wrong on Prince.
Yeah, there's no. I mean,
I could be wrong on Prince. They didn't know that shit had fentanyl in it. They were taking other drugs that became laced with fentanyl. That's why they overdosed.
Correct.
oh,
right.
Okay.
You know what I'm
I get
saying?
saying? So maybe like
It was
another
cut.
substance.
Yeah, you know what I'm
And
saying?
then plus the medicine.
the new baking soda. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
Laredo, Texas,
the greed.
is up 1,500% of them like catching fentanyl. It's been like over $1 million.
In Colorado, it's 44
that they didn't call
44%.
at the Texas border. So it's been going up every year.
So the thing is with the drugs is like
It's coming in. And we can't do nothing about it.
people are taking the shit. One, they're taking the shit. Some people are taking it, they don't know they're taking it. But then the other people are taking the shit. They're taking the shit, daring or wanting to be what they see or hear their favorite people off of Instagram or on the radio talk about. You know what I'm saying? Doped up off of whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not promoting shit. You know what I'm saying? So they'll get this shit. Half of these, you know what I'm saying, small-minded people haven't done anything. You know what I'm saying? Maybe hit a blunt probably ain't never been laced with nothing. Now all of a sudden you hitting some shit that's stronger than fucking heroin. And all it takes is Bro, like
Very little.
very fucking little.
Yep. And then mixing it with everything.
With everything. Like you taking the deadliest cocktail you could possibly take. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be cool, you know what I'm saying, just because you heard somebody else say they took that shit.
Yep. And then here's the thing, I don't know if y'all know, but when you're dealing with something like that's that potent and it's synthetic, the different ways that it's provided to you. So not only we talked about the traditional ways you smoke it, snort it,
Right.
inject it.
It's gonna hit you
But
faster.
You're also talking about, it's in eye drops, nasal sprays, certain pills.
Right.
The thing that I think about, right? Because I'm raising children.
Who took a nose spray and got high before?
I mean,
like, God damn, what this shit? What the fuck?
I mean, but you see,
right,
it don't take
crazy.
right.
It don't take nothing.
And so, as a father of 3, right? You look at the effects when you talk about it's trending. It unfortunately trends you want to look to be positive, right? Whereas,
Yeah.
but in this
most trends are not
instance,
most trends are not
Most trends
positive.
are not
If you want to be
positive.
honest with you, most trends that are
so
out are
that's
not
why
positive.
I say you look
Other
for it
than
to
on
be
TikTok.
positive.
No, I'm
You
just
look,
playing.
you do look for it.
Most trends are not positive.
So let me think. So if you think about it, right? You think about a trend. Obviously, you say, "Oh, this is something that's got a lot of views. This goes viral." At least in my mind, I can only speak for me. So I'm not gonna speak on y'all. But for me, the automatic thought is that this is a positive thing, a trend, something that you can. All right, it's cool. It's family oriented. Yada yada yada. But to you guys' point, it's not always a positive situation.
Shit, the latest trend was the fucking
You talking about the milk crates?
You already know. I ain't gotta say nothing else. Take it how you want to.
Kind of getting back on track, when you talk about something like this, you think about, again, me as a father, I look at it like, okay, well, you almost have to go back and think about, okay, what am I telling my children? What am I doing? What am I making sure I'm saying to my kids? Because it is now so easily grasped. There's nothing that's gonna keep me from at one point experiencing them dealing with some type of peer pressure, some type of trend that's out there, something that's going on.
Shit.
So when you look at it and you talk about something that's synthetic like this,
Yeah,
that
keep
can
it a
be
buck.
easily.
Yeah.
You do. I agree. When you talk about something that's this serious, because the reason why it brings something to my attention is because I'm not just looking at stars. I'm not just looking at people our age to the left and right of us.
Just in general.
I'm looking at these kids.
But this is why you got to keep it a buck. Because if you ain't in the know or you ain't in tune with your child, the issue starts in the home 7.5 out of 10 times. And I'll probably go low on that bitch. I really want to say 8.5. But I'm saying 7.5 just to be generous tonight. I'm saying 7.5 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
It starts in the home. And what I mean by that, because where they find the first piece at is in their mom and dad's motherfucking drug cabinet. It's something that their parents is taking because they have to take it.
Right. To cope with whatever.
To cope with whatever they having to cope with.
That's true.
But it becomes a different feeling for that child.
That's true. That's true. I get that. I can see. I can understand that.
We're in a different day and age. We talking about prescription. We talking about prescription pills versus selling weed or getting some coke or some crack off the fucking street. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it's definitely
most prescription
different.
pills is in the cabinet.
I think, but if you gonna go down that route and y'all have that real conversation with your kid or whatnot, I mean, if I was to put it out there, like, so if I was smoking weed and you're in a group of individuals, then you gotta kind of, I don't know if you teach some people this, but you gotta. I know when I first started smoking, I was just like, I gotta watch when they roll up.
You don't smoke with everybody,
right? You can't do
if
that.
I
so
see
I
you
think
roll that shit, I ain't smoking that
shit. That keep it a buck 100 is like teaching kids common sense.
Right.
I'm not gonna say, hey, I condone
Common
this
sense goes a long way.
behavior.
No,
but if you ever decide to do this, then
do
I
it
need
home
you to
first.
Right. Usually times you tell people to do it at home first so you can
Do it home
have a
first.
controlled environment.
Yeah.
But the second thing, do you trust this person that you're receiving this from?
You got to teach that game. That's keeping it a buck.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, the way it is, kids being introduced to that shit was elementary school.
That's a stretch.
It's not.
I don't think
It's not a
that's a
stretch,
stretch,
bro.
actually.
Because they're coming to
No.
school.
Really?
They're coming
Depending
to
on
bro.
where you
Are y'all
at.
serious?
Depending on where you're at. Depending on where you're at, the situation that you
And
live
I done
in.
worked in
You got-
DC public school.
You got elementary kids bringing guns to school because they seen them laying around their parents' house.
Oh, that's
so
a
they
whole
think
nother story,
if they
but
see some
yeah.
pills laying around the fucking house, they don't know what these fucking pills is. They just see
and
their
it's in
mom.
songs.
They seen their moms and pops taking that shit. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like the shit's it's available.
Yeah.
It's
I
available.
think it's just
Elementary?
education.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Elementary,
just
bro.
education.
Bro, don't underestimate elementary kids.
It's all about education.
What world am I living in?
Like
I didn't-
about third, fourth grade, it
I-
starts getting real with these kids these days, man.
Okay.
We in a different time. Like, our third or fourth
I'm
grade.
thinking fifth. Maybe
Shit,
for
fifth grade, you about to
elementary.
start junior high. You got to be prepared going into junior high these
This
days.
shit is- that's-
Before going to junior high, it was something to look forward to. I left elementary school. Now you got to kind of go into junior high with a name.
Mm. Yeah, I
Shit, you ain't about to bully me coming up into this shit. Y'all heard
Not
about me
make
in
do
elementary
nothing.
school?
Right.
Y'all heard about me in elementary school?
Right.
Heard what I did in the fourth grade? Act a fool in the cafeteria, boy.
My whole, I guess my thought process, when you talk about something like this is something that you don't expect to have that conversation. And I'm focusing on the kids. Go look at your everyday CNN. Go look at your everyday social media feed. Go look at your everyday news feed, newspaper, whatever you choose to get your news from.
Right.
And look at these stories.
Right.
And so when you say elementary, I'm like, really? Elementary?
But you,
And what's crazy is, I'm looking at, it was a 12-year-old boy who took one pill, completely induced with fentanyl.
right.
And,
But
for
for
the
him,
sake of the family, I'm not going to say the name. It's heavily publicized if you've been looking at the news. One pill, gone.
Yes.
right.
2 milligrams,
But-
remember?
For that
Smallest
12-year-old boy to feel comfortable taking that pill, that's the
Right.
first.
It's that energy
right.
that's
So
out there.
and where that makes steam from is there's so many young children these days that are taking different type of medication that's been prescribed to them because the parents just can't control their asses. So they send them to a doctor, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
and they
to
got to
calm
take
them
them,
down
right, to
or
try to
something.
calm them down, you know what I'm saying? So them popping the pill ain't shit.
Mm.
I mean, but listen to the music we listening to.
Well,
Yeah, it's
and,
really
and
the-
that's been
listen to
pushing it
music
out
that they
there,
listening
you
to.
know?
You right.
So that's again
Juice
influence.
World.
They the
you
youth.
know, all that,
This
you
is
know.
But
this is the
Juice
generation of the
and
users.
depression.
Has passed.
And then also depression, they're saying with this Generation Z is such a strong disconnect of human actual contact
Yeah.
because of technology.
It is.
Yeah, I already
You
know
get
what
what I'm
time
saying?
it
So
was.
it's nothing but influence. And so you hear, popping pills
See,
and
that's-
all of this all
is
the
my point.
time.
Right.
Then
That's what it's about.
That fear of it gone down. It went from just the housewives to now it's in the hood more so now. So it's transition because this used to be very prominent in housewife households, the opioid overdose, and now it's
Right.
trending because I'm not gonna put out that genre of music like that, but
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're going with that because it was in you think about housewives at a certain time, they dealt with all the shit that maybe a man put, you
Yeah.
want
but
to say.
prescription drugs.
And the
that's what it
prescription
is.
And all these
and they
drugs
get
were
friends, they go
originally
and get-
Find in
prescription
the
drugs
household.
that were legal.
Mhm.
They
But we
still
not-
are.
Right.
They're just abused.
Exactly. It was used in the military and so forth.
All these drugs
then it
are
transitioned
still
to this.
they're still prescribed to somebody for some reason that they need it for.
Agreed.
They're
And that's
just-
where you kind of say, well,
Yeah.
it starts in the
It
household.
starts in the household. Like shit,
But I
kids
agree
ain't got to
with
go
you.
far to find no goddamn. Like when we was growing up, if you see prescription drugs in your mom and dad's cabinet, you staying away from the
Not only
motherfuckers.
that, so you
Right.
might grab a couple try to
Shit.
sell them.
Shit, you ain't even trying to think about selling them. What a weed man at? You know what I'm saying? Like, like that shit was like crack back in the day when we was growing up. Like, shit, you think you smoke reefer?
When I look at what you say, you talk about the music. That's a part of the influence, right?
It
You talk
is.
about your kids, and that's what I meant by this social media piece.
Using.
I don't want to bash social media, but I also want to think about like all the different outlets that they have. Anything can influence these kids.
And then where you can get it too. You can get it off of social media. You can get it off of Facebook Market. You can get it off Instagram
Oh.
Market. Like
She's-
it's so much easier
she said it
access
right.
to it as well.
They talk
Right.
about using.
And
We talked about getting
and
money.
then you got
when we
cool
grew up.
names to it and everything.
And you talk about just kind of go back to the music.
They even get
Listening to
jewelry.
it, you hear it. Like, we talk about this all the time. People make jokes and people will say, like the older era, the golden era, hip hop.
We used to sell us. They the users.
We were the sellers. We weren't the users. People make fun of that, but that's real shit.
Facts.
You just alluded to looking in your mom's or dad's medicine cabinet, and
that shit didn't
I ain't fuck with
intrigue
that. I'm just what a weed at.
Hell yeah.
I'm not trying to get high on this, but I don't know what the fuck is in this. I don't even know how to pronounce
shit.
Shit
Gonna make us old or some shit.
Right. I'm trying to. If anything, I'm gonna grab it. Hey,
Right.
I'm gonna sell this shit. Get a
your
couple
mom pops
dollars.
need this shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Hey, my mom got 10 bottles of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
All day, baby.
Whereas you listen to this
It's
shit
for a
now,
real element too. You're like, oh, that's
in
really
order
for their
to
back pain.
understand,
Right.
in order to really fucking understand what these kids, these young guys are really saying, I gotta be high as a motherfucker.
The world just looking for the fastest high.
You kind of, you know.
But it's all
It's
back to
it's-
what the original conversation.
It's a numbness.
Pain.
It's a yeah.
People are running from pain.
Yeah. And they
use this as one of the vices
The
to
pill-
deal with
Sedate
that.
themselves.
the pills just the pills probably the fastest way. And each pill give you a different feeling.
True.
Which is so weird to me because I feel like that would take a little longer. Now, mine is fentanyl. I feel like, when you smoke, it hit pretty fast.
I mean,
But a
there's
pill, I feel like that's so,
there's different levels to smoking.
no, that is true.
Just probably like there's different levels to taking the pill. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
the more you smoke, the different level you feel like
I'm
Who
sure
knows,
there-
'cause
I'm sure there is.
by
I
the-
just don't know.
all I know is by the time them motherfuckers about like on pill, I don't know. No telling 8 to 10, 60 to 20.
Yeah.
Like shit is in slow motion for them motherfuckers. Like, God damn, what we listening to right now?
I do have a question. So you think about right? Because I know he was very instrumental when he mentioned, is it really what's going on? And I'm pivoting back, just so you know, I'm pivoting back to like the celebrities, older people, right? He was very instrumental in saying, hey, is it really the person or is it really who the fuck is out here really selling this drug? Goes back to what you say, greed
Yes.
is gonna overtake all of the shit because when you're greedy, you want the bread, you want the money, you want what's gonna come behind the
Cut
compensation.
Right.
I'm gonna cut costs. That's the new baking powder. To y'all's point, but it's cost so many lives. You look at think
But
about
you know
it.
what but you know what it's doing? It's
Well, that's
selling.
true.
Exactly.
It's selling.
But for me, though, it was so crazy as like a business mind. It's like, yo, you don't want no repeat customers?
They
That's
Well,
the
they
wild part,
This
but they
is-
feel like
this
it's so many people out there
this
that
is-
they don't even worry
They don't
about
give
the
a damn.
repeat
it's
customers.
a different type of hustle.
It's different.
Um,
No
You
consciousness.
you serving fentanyl. You taking life charges every time you ditch that whole out.
That's really true.
Shit, you got 20 in the bag.
That's murder charges.
Right,
Yeah.
like shit.
Because that's expected.
We trying to
outcome.
get money. You over here trying to kill motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, bad.
Trying to get a bag and
I-
flash on Instagram.
I think it's more
Mm.
so you because we losing legends. I ain't saying that every legend that passes or
Man, everybody,
but right now it's
it's the new baking soda.
it's funny because now either it's death by COVID or death by opioid, and it's like that's the reason why I kind of wanted to cover this topic, and so you look at it like, we went down the list of names, more to come. If the family chooses to share for some of these other people that's recently dying,
Right.
that are on celebrity status or what have you, you'll find that there is some drug induced. Again, to your point, like you mentioned, you don't want to make it seem like it's just that, because there could have been other things that person may have taken,
I mean, if you look at
prescription drugs that they really needed for whatever they had going on, plus whatever their vice was.
yeah,
But you look at it and it's like, well, shit, where do you?
you got states.
Where do you go?
You got states in the Northwest that's starting to legalize it. You know what I'm saying?
Opioid?
You
Really?
organs. You could be like, well, as far as like cocaine, different drugs like that, you get pulled over.
Yeah.
Why? Because
It's
they
a
don't want to
business
be.
driver
They don't
for
want to
them.
be in the news.
That and it's a business driver.
Well, because
let's not get it twisted.
because
money is
No, that's
because
true.
because what it is we was in the news for crack, and you know what I'm saying, but we was in the news for trying to sell crack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now that their kids is getting arrested for being
Mhm.
on it, they don't want to be in the news for that shit. So instead, are making the news.
Let's legalize
legalize
it.
this shit.
Mm.
We know our kids got problems.
Which is the worst.
And this shit is becoming legal in more and more states. And it started mostly in the Northwest.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean that's what majority
Oregon.
stuff is.
Yeah.
Right.
But watch them political states. Illinois, I see them jumping on board next.
Interesting. More to come. I mean, I thought this was a great dialogue. Me personally, I want to be more up on certain things like this. You know, we have research as we normally do. You want to make sure, you know, in order to inform people. This was like a beginning conversation for everybody listening. You know, we appreciate it. But, you know, we got some final thoughts. DC, I'll let you kind of close everything out with us, but I want to say a couple things, and Trez, you know, I'll let you do your thing. But go ahead, DC.
I want to just leave with a question. Who is our number one competitor
And what?
in United States, like in everything? Whether
China.
It's exactly. Who is the number one producer of fentanyl?
China.
Okay. I'm playing around with you a little bit more. The U.S. dollar is going down, right?
Absolutely.
What's something that's been growing? Cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah, you better get on it.
Was some of the biggest Bitcoin, right? And so if more people buy into Bitcoin,
Who pushing it?
It pushes the U.S. dollar down, right?
See how she made this connection. That's that Howard University
So
shit.
I just
that
want
Howard
to
shit.
just
That's the
throw it,
HBCU.
just a thought, you
That's
know,
the HBCU.
just a thought.
So, we ain't gonna get it all out to Howard.
You know,
It was a marketing
is this
major
is this
here.
I respect it,
what guerrilla warfare?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's just a thought.
I like that. I
I
like that thought to leave us with. I like it. I you know, I'm inclined to agree, you know, until I see otherwise. But I agree. You know, so far, I mean, you got to think you're absolutely right. You also, anything like this, any serious situation or topic or anything that generates any type of dollar, you have to consider the compensation. You have to consider how it's being made,
that money,
what comes with it, the practice, the process, the generation of any type of dollar. I agree. You know, I'm inclined to agree. I would encourage everybody listening just to please educate yourselves.
research,
Most definitely.
do your
Make
research.
sure that you are in a position to have the conversation,
Knowledge is wealth.
right? And if you have
used.
children,
Read a book.
the application of the knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you though.
Read
No.
a fucking book.
Always.
Turn the
I'm
TV off.
I'm an avid reader, so I agree with that statement.
Close social media.
Unless it's documentaries.
Yeah.
Documentaries work. Yeah.
Listen
Get off,
to
stop
listen-
watching Squid Game.
Listen to an audible while you cleaning the house. You know what I'm saying? It's like just
Yeah,
mix it
No
up,
doubt.
man. Like feed the mind.
absolutely. Educate yourself,
Continuous
especially
growth.
if you have little ones. I think it's important to
Yeah, you gotta
make
get 'em-
sure,
you got to get them prepared
right?
because
for what's to come.
our day ain't their day.
Right, it's different.
Times change.
Um,
Continuous growth.
They building ships to go out of the off
Shit.
Earth.
oh yeah,
There's a
yeah.
reason.
Ain't nobody really paying attention. But that's
they
another
building-
conversation.
Astro
for another-
They
mining.
building driving cars, Jetsons.
They're doing a lot right now.
You know what I'm
Why they
saying?
want?
The
Why all
future's
these
here.
billionaires running to leave Earth?
I don't know.
Do your
There's
research.
something out there.
William Shatner just went to outer
What did he
space,
do?
didn't he?
1.5 seconds, some
Yeah,
shit like
shit.
that.
What,
Some
pick-
2.5.
Shit.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you know, Star Trek original. Maybe something to
Original.
it.
Right.
You know, again, thank you all. This DC.
We appreciate you.
Press,
Last
Appreciate
2
y'all
weeks.
having me.
I
I
think
really
that
do appreciate this.
I think that this was great dialogue.
Most definitely.
Way to bring in our, you know, our
Big
40
4-0. DC, shout yourself out real quick again where people
Yeah.
can find you at.
Y'all could definitely follow me. My company is Seafood. It's about socially, emotionally, and educationally empowering people, and it may be through food right now. And I have more stuff to come.
That's the
in
acronym,
future.
by the way.
Yeah, so it might be See Homes, See Art, more and more. But
Let's go.
follow me on Seafood LLC, and also if you want to check out some food, some healthy alternatives, you can follow me at my name. It's Channin Marie, spelled ChanninMurrie. So I would love for y'all to follow me on there, and then for the foolery, follow me on Howard Miss.
Yeah. That's the Instagram.
All Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, all the same.
100%.
FAMU rattlers strike again. Every time you say Howard, I'm gonna shout out FAMU. That's just what we're gonna do up in here. Fuck the shit.
I love it.
Fuck it.
I love it. Represent the HBCUs. Again, as y'all know, y'all can find us on YouTube. Please make
Spotify,
sure you are listening to us on our audio.
iCloud,
Yep.
iHeart.
We got Apple Podcasts.
Apple
we have
Podcasts.
Google Plus. We have the, we are getting into going to the Patreon, so we're working on that as we speak. But thank you guys for continuously listening. Thank you for our viewership.
40 deep.
40 and counting. So again, that being said, I am DJ D Spins.
Trez the Barbarian.
And
DC.
P.
We out.
Life. For every little black child, this is life. Life. For every single parent, this is life. Life. For every brother behind bars, this is life. Hold your head.